What's up, guys? This is Coach Grant with First Down Training, and today we're going to be breaking down some of these routes from Justin Jefferson this offseason. We're going to talk about how you can, what's your thought process on this stutter go comeback. We're going to talk about how to run a rocker step out and then maybe a rocker step deep post, kind of high angle concept, okay? And guys, if you're a receiver and you want to get faster, you want to be a more explosive athlete, you want to have more burst, more explosion on your routes, check out that link in the description that says Speed Workout Plan. It's a 28-day gym workout plan with exercises designed to get you faster, about 8 to 10 exercises a day, rest days, the whole works, guys. Hope to get you guys signed up on that soon. Let's get started. So this first route here is going to be running just this straight up comeback, right? We're going to talk about steps at the top of the route, selling vertical, and why he gives him this stutter, right? So the DB is not going to really be a factor here because this is just, his trainer or coach, maybe friend, I'm not honestly quite too sure, but he's not trying to play him, right? We're going through technique. We're going to be focusing on technique for these three clips, technique to help you with your route. So he comes off the line here, and the reason why he gives this little hesitation, right? The whole hesitation, the goal of this is when we're facing an actual live DB, is to get this DB to kind of stop his feet, kind of slow down, right? Try to match our tempo. And he's staying in a good range, right? He's staying in this range where the DB's going to have to either make a decision to shuffle with him and try to play him man-to-man, watch his hips, or come at him and try to get hands. Either or, I got a plan for it. I'm able to react off of it. So now, he bursts upfield here. He goes from 0 to 100, right? That's the most important part to get into this stutter before the break, right? I slow play it. I get up to 0. I go 100. And now when he goes up into this break, you see how he kind of gives this little stutter right here. Just a quick 1-2, and his hips are violent. He's working his hands. All that serves to do is when a DB's actually running with me hip to hip, right? He'll probably be a little bit closer, probably trying to get hands into me. When I give him that stutter 1-2, that's going to get him to alert, right? That's going to get him to maybe put the brakes on a little bit, maybe stop his feet because he doesn't want to get beat on a comeback. He doesn't want to get thrown by and run a dig or thrown by and run a curl, right? So I got to make sure that stutter is believable, number one. It's got to be believable. I got to be violent with the 1-2 and then go break it off, right? So now when he comes up to this comeback here, he pushes up for 3 more inside steps, and now you see when he's here, he gives a little bit of a peek back, right? Now this is honestly a route. This is a very complex situation, right? It's a very complex route, and I wouldn't necessarily say complex because the stuff he's doing isn't complex. It's about putting it all together, though, right? That's the hardest part, and he's going off of steps right now. He's breaking this thing off of steps because he's on a field without yardage. So again, you add that factor. This is not something that you could just go walk out there and just go run, right? This comes from reps upon reps, drill working these movements, and then you can be able to go put this thing into a full route, right? You should work, let's say you're working out at the field one time. This is what I do with my guys. We'll work drills specifically designed for the route running portion of it, right? But not drills where it's just a bunch of fancy cone drills where you just go through and you're just sweating out there. You're not really getting much out of it. Realistic drills that when you put it in together into the route, you have the technique. Now you just got to think about the movement, right? And that's something that he really does well here is that he works this stutter and then he bursts upfield and he gives this peek back, right? Doing a stutter, then a peek back, being able to snap it off, get out in 3 steps. It's a lot of things that you got to think about. So repetition, guys, that's what makes this route, I think, a great route. And this is something that you execute in the game. This is how you get better to put this thing into a game. You got to put the time and you actually got to run the route. Too many guys just do the fancy drills, just do the cone drills, the ladder drills, but don't actually put it into effect when they're running a route, right? We got to make sure that we're training realistically for the game. Now, when he's coming here, you see again, he's peeking back. All that peek back serving to do is to get this DB to think, oh crap, I don't want to get beat off the fade. He just wanted to run a stutter go. And then what do? I snap it off right on a dime. You see right in stride, he brings his chin to his knee and you see how his chest is over his knees, right? That's the position I want to be in. What a lot of people do when they snap down here is they try to turn this shoulder and they lean back. That's not what we want to do. We want to make sure that we snap. Then my second step pivots right here, and that's what gets my hips back down on a 45 because that's what I got to be able to do. I got to be able to get my hips on a 45, and if I'm selling vertical with my eyes like he does on this with my speed and I snap it off with my hips, that's what will get this DB to shoot by, right, if he were actually playing him. And then his third step hooks here. His third step's driving him around, and he gets out of this break. Now, one thing I think he could do, and it's, quarterback kind of runs up a little bit here, whoever's acting as the quarterback, so he doesn't really accelerate out of it too much. He kind of pauses right here. Obviously, if we're in a regular situation where we're throwing him back downhill, we want to make sure that we're running out of this break and accelerating out of this break. But at the same time, I don't want to run to where I'm hugging the sideline. It's a really hard catch, right? We create that separation. Ball should already be halfway there when I'm making my break. Make sure I get my head around quick and find this thing. Let's watch this thing another time. So again, a little hesitation, slide move, get him to stop his feet, burst up, stutter, burst up, 3 more inside steps, snap it off, pivot, drive, give a little peek back to the quarterback. Let's watch it again here. So slide, burst up field, stutter, make him to sit down, and then break it off 3 steps and get out of this break fast. All right, so now we're going to be looking at this rocker step out here. All we're going to be talking about is your acceleration out of the break on these next two clips and the technique of a rocker step. So you see how he's here? So what a rocker step is, for those of you who don't know, maybe new to this channel, rather than just coming up here and going off of his fourth inside step and just sticking and then running out, he's going to go right then left. So he's going to break with his right leg, then his left leg, and he's going to move his upper body to sell like he's maybe going post or running a dig or trying to take some kind of a set to the inside, right? So that's what that first move's trying to set up. So you see how he's coming here off of his fourth outside step, he breaks. Now I want you to see how a lot of people, what they'll do is they'll break with this leg on a rocker step, but they stay pointed forward. They stay facing, they keep their shoulders and their hips facing square, right? But if I could be here and I step, I throw my head and my shoulders to the outside, and then I throw back and I do the exact same thing with my head and my shoulders, and I commit my chest, I commit my hips. That sells more. Like, imagine you wouldn't want it. You could use this move in a situation where you work to restack a DB against man coverage, or you could use this against like an off man scenario or maybe even a zone scenario, because if it's off man and he's bailing and he's watching your hips and he's watching your torso, and you break it off and you throw your hips and you throw your torso in the opposite direction, where do you think he's going to go, right? But at the same time, I got to make sure that I keep my toes pointed forward. I keep the weight on the inside part of my foot, so when I hit this leg here, I could really drive and get some explosion back on this route, because this is creating energy. That 1-2 is creating energy at the top. That acceleration out is what keeps the space, right? That's what will keep the space with this DB. And you see when he breaks it off here, what does he do? He runs those arms, snaps that head around, and then makes a really great catch. It's a great job here by Jefferson. Let's watch it again one more time. So that's the technique of a rocker step. You want to keep the weight on the inside part of your foot. You throw right, then you throw back. You work your whole upper half. Let's watch it again one more time. So fourth outside, 1-2. Throw that upper half. Make sure we accelerate out. That's a great route. Okay, so now we're going to be looking at very, very similar technique in terms of this deep post here. So he's going to be a 1-2. So now all it is he's breaking off the inside leg, right? And this could be a situation like he could be running a corner off of this. I'm assuming this is a post right now, a deep post. Kind of tough when you're on just a regular field, to kind of determine that. But when he's coming off here and he makes this move, same idea, right? Bam, here, cutting. And now I want you to see another thing. When he goes up into this rocker step, what a lot of you like to do is, or a lot of receivers like to do, I should say, is that they'll be running, and then right before the move, their steps will get real choppy. They'll go like this on me, and then they'll go 1-2, right? That ain't going to get anybody. You're preparing for the break, right? We got to make it in stride. I want to make this guy think I'm just popping it off. I'm running a high angle, right? Cutting with the left, high angle route, and then I just catch myself. So this is what Jefferson does a good job of. You see, same stride, same arm swing, same pad level, and then he just cuts it in the ground, right? Sudden with his feet, and he throws his shoulders. Everything about this is saying corner right now. And then what does he do with his upper half? He throws his upper half back, and you see he turns his shoulder. He commits that inside shoulder to really sell, and at the same time, toes stay forward, weight stays on the inside part of his foot. You can tell by that shin angle that he's not getting too far outside of his frame, and he's not leaning too far. It's just a 1-2. Right, left, right, catch myself here, drive out, pump my arms, snap that head. That's a great job here by Jefferson. Let's watch it again one more time. So he's coming off here, and just give him a 1-2, throw your whole upper half, and make sure you see on this deep ball, anytime we work a rocker step on like a corner, deep post, we got to make sure that I pump my arms and I continue to accelerate out of this break, especially on a deep post, not so much a corner, but like a deeper route. If I'm going to go with the 1-2, or like, let's say a lot of people ask me, how do I run a fade against like an off corner, like off man situation, or hell, even zone? You give him that 1-2 to the inside, you sell post, but let's keep my head down so I can keep the energy I created off of that move and continue to push to get some separation from that DB, okay? All right, guys, I really want to thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Again, if you want to be a faster, more explosive receiver, check out that link in the description. It says speed workout plan. And guys, if you have any questions, please leave those in the comments. I'll make sure to get back to you as soon as possible. I'll see you guys next time.